Man, it was just a little bit ago where I was just sitting here in the early hours of Monday morning delivering a Hell in a Cell 2018 review. And I had every intention of waking up this morning and giving you guys an off the script part 3 for episode 239. But what I woke up to was a bunch of news about Hell in a Cell. So what we're going to do today, instead of giving you guys the traditional news and rumors surrounding everything WWE, I'm just going to go over all the news that came out of Hell in a Cell last night. The reason for certain things happening, the reason for Brock Lesnar being back, the plans moving forward for Brock Lesnar, why Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler fell off the cage last night, what was WWE's true intention with Becky Lynch, so on and so forth. So we're going to go over pretty much everything in the aftermath of Hell in a Cell 2018 today on what is, this week, episode 239, part number 3 for Off the Script. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with me this morning, man. It was a long night. We had a very, very good pay-per-view, which I don't understand people are on my case for actually enjoying the show. I mean, if you didn't enjoy Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy inside the Hell in a Cell, and you didn't enjoy that tag team title match with The Shield and Ziggler and McIntyre, I mean, you're a lost cause. You're simply a lost cause. There's no way that you are a professional wrestling fan and you didn't enjoy anything from those two matches. Even Becky and Charlotte was a very, very good match, even though I think WWE had all intentions to try and tell you, the fans, in their own narrative that, listen, you gotta cheer Charlotte. You gotta boo Becky. You ain't getting one over on me, WWE. You know, Road Dogg wants to go on social media. We'll talk about it. Road Dogg wants to go on social media and say, just choose a side. If you want to cheer Becky, choose Becky. If you want to choose Charlotte, cheer Charlotte. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But we'll go over all that today. The aftermath of Hell in a Cell 2018. If you guys missed my official review, it is live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. It was uploaded at 3 a.m. early this morning. I woke up to it almost at 30,000 views already. So thank you guys so very much, man. Continue hitting that like button. Continue leaving your comments down below in the comments section. Go and check it out if you didn't get a chance to see it yet. It's almost an hour and a half of full coverage, thoughts, and in-depth opinion on everything Hell in a Cell from Sunday night. If you missed anything else on the channel, Off the Script 239, Part 1 and Part 2. Live on the channel right now. Go and check that stuff out. And please leave a comment and a thumbs up wherever you guys can. Mae Young Classic coverage from episode 2 this week. NXT coverage from this week's episode. Last week, Raw and SmackDown. Everything you guys need live on the channel. Go and check it out. Links will be in the annotation that you see right in the top right corner. If you guys are watching this video, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up and a comment down below. YouTube and their new algorithm, it pushes the video. It helps the creator out immensely. If you guys leave a thumbs up and you guys leave a comment down below. So that's all you guys have to do, man. Leave a comment and leave a thumbs up on your way out of here. I would greatly appreciate that, and it helps the video get to more eyes and more ears. So thank you all very much for that. My sponsors. I got to go over my sponsors because I have to. It's a thing I have to do, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. If you guys want your t-shirts, please go and get your t-shirts. 17 different designs and some of the best looking t-shirts in the podcasting community right here on YouTube, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. The Great Summer Scam design is available. His empire is still not over. Roman design. They do it for Roman. Eat, sleep, bench, repeat. The ever so popular JD is Negan t-shirt. And you guys can get all that plus 17 in total. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code BSHOP20 to save 20% off all your purchases, man. Harry's Harry's is a great sponsor of the show and something that I will be using immediately following this podcast because I desperately need a shave and I always go for Harry's. Harry's.com/script. They are so confident that you will have the best shave of your life that they are going to give you a free trial because that's how damn good it is, man. They're going to give you a razor blade, a razor handle. They're going to give you the foaming shave gel, which soothes and hydrates, and it smells fantastic. And they're going to give you a razor blade protective case, all for free, because they believe that this will be the best shave you will ever have. All you guys have to do is use my unique link, harrys.com/script. Go through the sign-up process and pay $2 or $3 shipping and handling, and you guys will have a free shave set on the house delivered to your mailboxes, man. I never put my name to anything I don't use or believe in. Harry's has been something I've been using for the last 6 months, and I guarantee you guys, if you are shaving regularly, that you're not going to want to be without Harry's. Harrys.com/script. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. These guys are going to give you a free audiobook and 1 month free of their service because that's how great they are. Over 200,000 choices to choose from. If you guys have never heard an audiobook in your entire life, I urge you guys to sign up with Audible. Over 200,000 choices spanning politics, romance. You guys got science fiction, sports, a lot of which are wrestling related, comedy, etc., etc. Audible, you go through the sign-up process, you do the same thing, you enter your credit card information, it's going to be absolutely free, and you guys can cancel. Listen to this, you guys can cancel within the first 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. It's been kind of slow this month, so if you guys have already signed up, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker. Audible, man, give the gift. Try audibletrial.com/offthescript. I also want to go over some special thank yous, man. I want to give shout outs to Billy Arnott, who just became a new $5 Patreon. Bob Hunt, who just became a new $5 Patreon. And Jess W., $5, he upped his pledge to $15. Thank you guys so very much. If you guys want to support the show through other means, patreon.com/JD206. Please follow me on Twitter. We are nearing 23,000 followers on social media. We have a great social media presence at JD206. And hit that subscribe button down below. And please make sure you guys turn on that bell for all notifications, man. We are going to start off. Might as well start off at the top. Okay? The biggest story coming out of Hell in a Cell was the return, unexpectedly, of Brock Lesnar. Okay? Brock Lesnar, he broke the cage down. He kicked the cage door in. Very, very reminiscent of Kane at the first ever Hell in a Cell between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker before he stood face to face with Taker and tombstoned him right in the middle of the ring. Brock Lesnar returned, and I'm assuming he was seeking revenge on Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar probably will be getting a rematch for the Universal Championship. I assumed, just as of last night when the thing was happening, Lesnar is probably back through October, and he will probably be in Saudi Arabia. WWE has a big Saudi Arabia show the first week of November. I am not sure if it's going to be televised. As of right now, I am not hearing anything of the news that it's going to be televised on the WWE Network. But few people expected Brock Lesnar's WWE return at Hell in a Cell, but he was seen walking around backstage, and WWE did not care to keep this a secret. Lesnar was walking around freely backstage, and WWE really didn't give a shit. They wanted you to know that Lesnar was there. I'm assuming they did that because they wanted to generate buzz to watch the show. So, going into this show, everybody, including myself, had zero expectation. We had zero excitement surrounding this show. WWE was allowing Brock Lesnar to freely walk around backstage. It created some buzz, and then you'd go out of your way to sign up for the network. Oh, fuck, Brock Lesnar's walking around backstage. I wonder if he's going to be featured on the show in some manner. And indeed he was. So that was the case with that. Normally, WWE conceals these people in a dark room somewhere, or they hide them in a production truck somewhere until their cue is made to come on out. They didn't do anything of that with Brock Lesnar. He did invade the main event and left Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns laying on the mat following 2 F5s. Now, the reason turns out to be wrapped around the upcoming WWE show in Saudi Arabia. Like I said, no one knows right now if this show will be televised on the WWE Network. But Lesnar still has plans to fight in the UFC. That is absolutely 100%. However, his fight might not actually happen as early as everyone has speculated, which is January, when he can reportedly fight next after his suspension has run out and he goes through the USADA suspension that he has to serve. Now, the Barn Burner Fired Up podcast that was, I guess, happening last night after the Hell in a Cell, they heard Lesnar won't be exclusive to any one company at this point. He wants to fight in the UFC, and there's no stopping him. But it also works both ways, as UFC will also apparently allow Lesnar to wrestle. Brock Lesnar will work for both companies. If Brock Lesnar fights with the UFC, it will not be until March or April. That's what they have heard on the Barn Burners Fired Up podcast. Dave Meltzer further discussed Lesnar's plans to wrestle for WWE once again on Wrestling Observer Radio as he explained Lesnar's WWE and UFC plans thanks to the money in Saudi Arabia that they are pushing towards WWE and that WWE has on the table from those guys. Apparently, the chief reason for Lesnar's return boiled down to how much money is coming in from WWE's massive overseas contract. Meltzer says, and I quote, "So Brock wrestling in Saudi Arabia. It's going to happen. He still plans on doing UFC. There's just so much money in Saudi Arabia. So Brock and Shawn Michaels on the same show. God only knows who else. Probably The Undertaker as well. Therefore, it's likely that WWE and UFC might be sharing Lesnar's services, which is very interesting. He might not be the Universal Champion anymore, but at least Lesnar is still able to come in and demand the top spot, and he'll get it too because his name is Brock Lesnar." So that's what WWE has planned right now for Brock Lesnar. This all is revolving around the money in Saudi Arabia. I got a few things to say about this entire Saudi Arabia show, plus the main event scene on Monday Night Raw. Number one, I want to start off with Monday Night Raw. The main event scene on Monday Night Raw is absolutely god-awful. It is god-awful. It's handcuffed by Brock Lesnar for 500 fucking days, or 400-something plus days, okay? And now the title is transferred from Brock to Roman, and the main event scene is still suffering. It is still insufferable. Braun Strowman won Money in the Bank. You wasted that. You turned him heel. You wasted that. He was fed to Roman and Brock Lesnar. Wasted him on that. Braun Strowman is never going to win the Universal Championship. At this rate, he is never going to win the Universal Championship. Last night's main event, WWE, and I mentioned this on the podcast last night, WWE had no choice but to do that ending. Everybody was shitting on the main event, and rightfully so. The main event was fucking terrible. It was absolutely god-awful. A Hell in a Cell match ending in a no fucking contest. What brains do these people have that they're gonna end a match that ends people's careers? That you're pretty much putting guys in there, and it's a fight to the death situation. You're gonna come in and just call a no contest? Over what? Over what? Lesnar kicked the door down because he delivered 2 F5s? Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns slept for most of that match, while there was another match happening on top of the cell with the Shield and Ziggler McIntyre. That match was ridiculously booked. Ridiculously booked. Roman Reigns is a worthless Universal Champion. Worthless. This is the lengths that WWE has to go for and go through because Roman is champion. Because they have to protect Roman. It starts at the top. I mentioned this with Jinder Mahal, who is one of the worst WWE champions of the modern era. Starts at the top. He ruined everything storyline-wise. And Roman Reigns is doing the same thing on Monday Night Raw. We got Brock Lesnar back. Nobody wants Brock Lesnar back. Get this guy away from the main event scene forever. I'm not even talking about the main event. Let me rephrase that. Get him away from the Universal Championship forever. Get him away from a championship, period. Braun Strowman was fed for nothing. Braun Strowman was wasted for nothing. Money in the Bank, wasted on a no contest inside of Hell in a Cell. Roman's reign is really a reign of terror. I said Jinder Mahal had a reign of terror on SmackDown Live. We're going through the same thing on Monday Night Raw with Roman Reigns. And if you don't believe me, then you clearly don't know much of anything when it comes to WWE. This guy sucks. The fact that Roman is champion is ruining everything on this show. Everything. In every aspect. WWE is going to the lengths to protect this and ruin everybody else. They try to do good for Roman, and by default, everything else suffers because they're putting so much effort into Roman and no effort into anything else. Now, where are all the people that proclaim that The Miz shouldn't have won Money in the Bank? What happened now? You could have still achieved this outcome with Braun Strowman not having Money in the Bank. At least that would have stopped some of the bleeding. Now you wasted Money in the Bank. You wasted an organic babyface run for Braun Strowman. For what? For what? For a Roman Universal Championship that will go down probably as one of the worst fucking reigns of all time? For a worthless championship that means nothing to anybody? For a returning Brock Lesnar who we all want to see go away? Come on, people. Start to open your fucking eyes, please. This shit is god-awful. Now, as far as the ending, WWE had no choice but to do that ending. It was either do that ending or have Strowman lose. You couldn't have Strowman lose clean. WWE had no choice. That's why I didn't really make that big of a deal about it. I'm going to make a big deal about it, about how ridiculous it fucking was, but I'm not going to make a big deal about the outcome of the match. WWE had no choice. Strowman was either going to lose clean or they were going to do that ending. I just didn't like the way that it just came about. Both men sleeping for most of the match. That was one of the worst Hell in a Cell matches that I've ever seen. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns had some damn good fucking matches early in 2017. This was the worst match that they've ever had. This is a foundation. This is a basis for how Roman Reigns' title reign is going to go. Get ready. Get ready. As for Brock Lesnar and the Saudi Arabian show, WWE clearly, it has to be televised. If Brock Lesnar is getting Universal Championship match against Roman and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match, because I don't see him wrestling past November. Unless they do it at Survivor Series, which wouldn't make any fucking sense, because Survivor Series is Raw vs. SmackDown. If they do it at the Saudi Arabian show, it's got to be televised on the WWE Network. You're not going to put a title match like that together and not have it be televised. But I don't think Roman's going to lose the title anyway. They're not putting it on Brock Lesnar. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe Brock Lesnar wins the Universal Championship and goes into the UFC to fight Daniel Cormier as the WWE Universal Champion. And Brock Lesnar beats Daniel Cormier and he's the UFC and Universal Champion at the same fucking time. It's not really out of the realm of possibility, but I don't think WWE is going to go that route. I think they're keeping the title on Roman. They're not taking the title off of Roman because he just fucking won it at SummerSlam. So I don't see that happening. But having Shawn Michaels on the same show with Brock Lesnar, this is going to be a big deal. It has to be televised. Now, The Undertaker is going to be on that show. WWE is not stupid enough to book The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at the Saudi Arabian show. Those people don't deserve that fucking match. Those people don't deserve that match, period. Now, that's a WrestleMania match. If you're going to have The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, I say do Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That would be a great, I guess, introduction to get Shawn Michaels' feet wet and back. That would be the only thing I think I would be okay with before Shawn Michaels last ever match one-on-one with The Undertaker. And that would be a retirement for both. Shawn Michaels retires forever. He only comes back to retire The Undertaker. That's it. But the Saudi Arabian show, clearly, WWE is more important about this. They think this is more important than anything else, the money. Meanwhile, storylines are suffering, characters are suffering, quality of television is suffering, all because they need to fulfill obligations to the fucking Saudi Arabian people, and then Fox, and then NBC Universal, and blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. It's ridiculous. But Hell in a Cell, we got Lesnar returning, and he will be at the Saudi Arabian show, more than likely in a triple threat match between Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. And for that fact alone, it will be televised. Now, WWE's reported plan is indeed, according to Barn Burner Fired Up Podcast, is a three-way match at either Survivor Series, which doesn't make any sense, and the Saudi Arabian show. Okay? It's either one of those two. Now, that is going to be, and I just want to let you guys know that it is being reported. Okay? So it's going to happen. We just don't know as of this time where it's going to be. Now, after Brock Lesnar interrupted the Hell in a Cell match, there were reports of WWE fans in San Antonio when the match went to a no contest and went quickly off the air. This was actually quicker than SummerSlam. The WWE audience in San Antonio showered "This is bullshit" chants that erupted in the arena. And there were fan-made videos of this. We didn't hear it live on television watching at home because WWE went to black immediately before anything was heard. And that's the second time they did that coming out of SummerSlam included. So fans were chanting, "This is bullshit." They were furious at the ending of the show, and they were furious for legit reasons. You give us a Hell in a Cell where it's a winner-take-all, fight to the death, pretty much, stipulation, and you're going to have a no fucking contest. A no contest inside of Hell in a Cell. So WWE just kind of shit all over the fans with that ending for Hell in a Cell. Now, the reason why WWE had Rollins and Dolph Ziggler take what was, in my honest opinion, a lame bump, a lame fall off the cage onto the announce tables at Hell in a Cell. Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio after the show went off the air why this spot took place in the end. It came down to trying to give the fans something because they knew nobody would be happy about how things were going to go down in the end. Meltzer says, and I quote, "It had nothing to do with the match at all. It was, let's do this because we don't want Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman to take the big bump. So we're going to have these two guys, Rollins and Ziggler, do a big bump in light of Strowman and Roman Reigns. And we're not going to give them a finish, so we're going to give them this big spot off the cage through the tables instead." Now, that spot may have been a distraction to the no contest finish at Hell in a Cell, but again, it didn't stop the fans from shitting on what happened in the main event when Lesnar came in and caused a no contest. So Ziggler and Rollins were used as scapegoats because of WWE's ineptness to book a proper main event. They were sacrificed for Roman and Braun Strowman because their match was terrible. And they needed to go about this ending. And it all starts with Roman. I told you guys just a couple of minutes ago, it all starts with Roman. It's a trickle-down effect. Rollins and Ziggler were sacrificed to do this lame Shawn Michaels-esque spot from the very first Hell in a Cell, which looked awful. It looked awful. It wasn't even, oh my goodness. It was the same shit that we normally see every fucking Hell in a Cell. They fought on top of the cage. We seen that. They were on the side of the cage. They fell through the tables. We seen that. Kevin Owens' spot at the steel cage match at Extreme Rules was better than what we seen here. This was just lame and an attempt to kind of divert attention away from what really is going on. WWE pushing the Roman narrative. So I feel sorry for Rollins and Ziggler that they had to be scapegoats here for Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, who had a fucking terrible main event. Brock Lesnar. How long was this return planned for Brock Lesnar? Was it something that WWE came up with day of, like they usually do? Or was this planned ahead of time? Now, Brock Lesnar invaded the Hell in a Cell, as you guys know. WWE is planning on having Brock Lesnar at the Saudi Arabian show. We went over that. Dave Meltzer confirmed that this was discussed and plans around this were in place for a while. This was not a last-minute deal, says Dave Meltzer. It's something that they had set up at some point. This was not thrown together at the end like it usually is. So they were always planning on doing a no contest on this show. So this was a planned deal for Brock Lesnar. And WWE pretty much planted the seeds with Paul Heyman on Monday Night Raw. Anyway, Paul Heyman, the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam, he automatically proclaimed that Brock Lesnar wants a rematch for the Universal Championship, and they want it inside Hell in a Cell. So WWE kind of planted those seeds on Monday Night Raw. And Kurt Angle said, no, I already have plans for Hell in a Cell, and they don't include Brock Lesnar. So Paul Heyman, you know, in typical Paul Heyman fashion, he exited Kurt Angle's office, and he had this smug, snide look on his face. So WWE probably had it in the back of their minds that, all right, you know, we'll drop seeds, and we'll plant seeds here for this potential rematch, and we're not going to go with that rematch at Hell in a Cell because it's a little too obvious. We'll hold off and book Strowman Reigns, and then have Lesnar just fuck up the entire thing. So WWE realistically probably planned this thing the Monday night after SummerSlam. That's what I'm thinking. And Dave Meltzer confirmed that this was not a last-minute deal. This was always the plan, and this was the plan going into the show, that they had a no contest in the back of their mind. So we'll see what happens. Again, triple threat match is looming between Lesnar, Reigns, and Braun Strowman. Shifting gears away from the main event. Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss. The Raw Women's Championship match, which was god-fucking awful. I went off on every fan of Alexa Bliss. I mentioned, and it's very difficult to argue, that Stephanie McMahon and Nia Jax brought Ronda Rousey to a better match than Alexa Bliss. What does that say about your goddess? And I use that term very loosely. Alexa Bliss. It means she's god-awful. Okay? The woman can't wrestle, and the woman only has a good mouth, and that is pretty much it. Other than that, she offers nothing. Nothing. Yet every single fucking chance we get Alexa Bliss in these high-profile situations. The next impending failure is her match with Trish Stratus. So I got to see how big that match is going to end up being, or how big of a failure it's going to end up being. And I got to see how much work Trish Stratus has to do on her end to make sure Alexa has a good match. But Ronda Rousey, you know, Ronda is still green. Ronda is still learning. This is no secret. Shayna Baszler is coming along at much better speeds than Ronda Rousey. Now, granted, Shayna Baszler's had a little bit more time, a little bit more seasoning in the ring than Ronda Rousey, but Shayna Baszler is, in my honest opinion, the best as it pertains to the four horsewomen of UFC. Ronda is coming along. Her facial expressions and her selling last night at Hell in a Cell were really fucking good. But I don't think anybody here watching me or anybody on social media can really justify Ronda Rousey getting beat up for 11 minutes by Alexa Bliss for 75% of the fucking match. That is absolute stupidity on WWE's behalf. The SummerSlam match ended in 90 seconds. This match should have ended in 90 seconds. It would have been, hello, goodbye, and that's all it's worth. But to have Alexa Bliss on the offense for 75% of the time in an 11-minute match, that's a little fucking ridiculous. And I even think these super fucking goons of Alexa Bliss can honestly agree with me. That's ridiculous. I don't care if Ronda Rousey has a busted up rib. I don't give a shit about the storyline WWE played or tried to script with this Ronda Rousey Alexa Bliss storyline, that she was injured going into this match, which gave Alexa Bliss an opening. I don't give a shit. Alexa Bliss is in the ring with a legit UFC fighter. WWE has coined Ronda Rousey the baddest woman on the planet. But she can't stand up to Alexa Bliss, who's 5 foot. 11 minutes of an offensive attack from Alexa Bliss? That is god-awful. It's completely god-awful. Now, where does Alexa Bliss go from here? I don't fucking know. As long as it's not anywhere near the Raw Women's Championship. That's done. That is absolutely done. I don't even know who Ronda Rousey has lined up for her next challenge. By all accounts, it's going to be Nikki Bella. And nobody else has really been positioned, and we are about a month and a half away from Evolution. So WWE is probably going to go with that terrible rumor of Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey. Now, I'm not even talking about Evolution. Where does Ronda go after all this? Because we know she's not losing the title. WWE put that title on her because they want to build her around Evolution. They want to build the women's division around Ronda Rousey. So where does she go? We got a whole lot of time before we get to WrestleMania. Now, the rumor going around is that, yes, it's going to be Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. Charlotte would win the Royal Rumble. She would challenge Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35, and that would be the first time the women main event WrestleMania. I am okay with that. But WWE may have other plans in place. Now, we've all known, and this has been going on for a year and a half now, that Chris Cyborg has basically begged for a WWE match with Becky Lynch, and Chris Cyborg is begging for a WWE match in general. Now, Chris Cyborg and Ronda Rousey have never had the chance to fight in the UFC for whatever reason. You can blame either side and either camp. You can blame Dana White. You can blame UFC. But the fact is, it never went down. Now, the Barn Burner Fired Up podcast last night after the show went off the air was stating that while WWE is still considering Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania, they could have another big match that they're trying to arrange for WrestleMania. WWE is in current negotiations with Cyborg to fight Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Now, while this might be a tricky match to pull together, it doesn't seem out of the question if UFC will let Cyborg wrestle. Of course, they said fight. Now, they said fight. They did not say wrestle. The guys on the Barn Burner Fighter podcast said fight, and they didn't say wrestle. Now, they might have meant wrestle, but they said fight. I'm assuming they said fight because both are legit fighters. So this will probably be a wrestling match. We don't know how seasoned Chris Cyborg is in the ring. We don't know if this match is ever going to get off the ground because of that aspect alone. But if WWE wanted to have this match happen, I'm sure they would let it happen. All it does is a few phone calls and a few sit-down, negotiations, and we'd be off to the running. But if WWE wants this match to happen, they will let it happen. And I think Dana White would be willing to do what he's got to do because he's going to have the services of Brock Lesnar. And if WWE is using Brock Lesnar while he's under a UFC deal, then I'm sure it would be the other way around. And I'm sure Dana White owes Vince McMahon some favors. Now, I do not think this is going to be an MMA-style match for the Raw Women's Championship. It would be contested under WWE rules because WWE cannot have Ronda Rousey go into a legit fight at WrestleMania and then run the risk of her losing. You can't have that happen. So WWE is going to play by their own rules, and they're going to script this thing where Ronda is the head of the class for the women's division. And if they want this match to happen, they're going to use this match as a first time ever, and they're going to build that for WrestleMania, and they're going to go with their woman as the head of the women's division. Now, like I said, Cyborg has been lobbying for a match against Becky Lynch. It started at SummerSlam last year. It continued into the Survivor Series. It even was surfaced again this year going into SummerSlam. But if WWE wanted to make this work, I'm assuming it's not as difficult as everybody's making it out to be. All they have to do is pick up the phone, have a few phone calls, some sit-down negotiations, and I think we'd be good to go. I don't know what Cyborg's UFC deal is. I don't know what's going on with that, but WWE at least is, I guess, floating around the idea of Ronda Rousey and Cyborg for WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey. So that is that. Now, I want to go into this one and I think this might be the last of the news here. Just let me give one quick glance in my notes. I think we've pretty much run all... Actually, no, there's two more things. We got the SmackDown Live Women's Championship before we get the hell out of here. I want to go over the Becky Lynch situation. Okay, quickly. Now, Becky Lynch won the SmackDown Live Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. But I want you guys... And I did focus too much on the end because WWE, they tried to get one over on us again. That's why I focused so much on the ending of the match instead of immediately going on and telling people on Twitter how great a match Becky and Charlotte did really have, which was very good. It was a great match. But the ending of that match didn't sit right with me. It really, really irked the shit out of me. And it's WWE again trying to spin the narrative that we need to boo Becky Lynch and we need to cheer Charlotte. Meanwhile, you got people like Road Dogg going on social media. We don't care. Cheer for who you want. If you want to be on Charlotte's side, be on Charlotte's side. Cheer Charlotte. If you want to be on Becky's side, be on Becky's side. Cheer Charlotte. Cheer Becky. It doesn't matter. It is in your hands. That's what they say on social media. And then we got Stephanie McMahon coming out and saying that the WWE listens to its fans. I want you guys to listen to that fucking vomit-inducing, nauseating interview that Stephanie McMahon did about how WWE listens to its audience. And then I want you to listen to what I'm about to say here. They listen to their audience, yet you got people on Road Dogg, like Road Dogg on social media, proclaiming, cheer and boo who you want. We don't care. And then they try and spin the narrative about Becky Lynch, what they did at the end of that match. You even had Goldust. You had Dustin Rhodes on social media coming out when Becky won the title, proclaiming that I want to see the smart marks complain about this one. That is storytelling 101. So take that and shove it up your pie holes, he said. Yet we got Stephanie McMahon coming out saying that the WWE listens to their audience. Yet you got Goldust coming out shitting on the WWE audience for wanting to cheer Becky Lynch or having a problem with WWE forcing us to boo Becky Lynch. So I want you to think back to what Stephanie McMahon says, and I want you to realize that it's full of fucking shit. What WWE did is full of fucking shit. And it irks the shit out of me how people back this fucking company and they find no wrong in doing what they're doing. In WWE doing what they're doing. Yet you want to come here and tell me I'm fucking negative. Shut the fuck up. Don't ever tell me I'm negative or wrong. I watch this product with eyes wide open. I don't need some fucking irrelevant asshole on social media telling me that I don't watch the product, like a fan. I'm not in the business. That I have no grounds to speak the way I do. If you don't like it, don't watch. Oh, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what's wrong with it every step of the way. I'm not even talking about the match that Becky Lynch and Charlotte had. I'm not. I'm talking about the ending. WWE. Becky Lynch won the title, and it didn't go as planned. You want to know why it didn't go as planned? Because WWE tried to once again pen their own narrative away from what the fans really want. But WWE listens to their audience, though. Becky Lynch walked out as the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion, and it was a late decision. The decision to put the title on Becky was made late in the evening. Now, however, WWE's reasoning for this title change might have worked against them in the end. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, following Hell in a Cell, said that Becky Lynch's crowd reaction wasn't what WWE was looking for when they booked the finish to this match at all, and they had intended for the fans to shift their preference as the contest went on. I quote, I can tell you this 100%, I swear to God, says Dave Meltzer. The idea of this match was to slowly turn Charlotte babyface. Yeah, it was. I can tell you that for sure. That was the idea. They knew that Becky Lynch was going to get cheered, but the idea was to slowly get it to where, by the end, Charlotte was babyface, and then Becky Lynch screwed her and beat her and won the title. That was the plan. End quote. Becky Lynch is still supposed to be a heel, and blowing off Charlotte's handshake at the end, which is the one thing, the one aspect that I focused all my attention on, was supposed to get a heel reaction, even though a pop for the title change was unavoidable. WWE even mentioned on commentary via Corey Graves that Becky Lynch, and this was a clear 100% force-fed line fucking from the mind of Vince and management. This was the narrative they tried to push through Corey Graves to us watching at home. That Becky Lynch walking away from Charlotte's handshake was disrespectful. Yeah, I'm supposed to sit here and listen to Stephanie McMahon say we listen to the audience. That is not listening to the fucking audience. That is god-awful. That is WWE trying to script the narrative for Charlotte away from Becky Lynch. They want you to boo. They are finding ways for you to boo Becky Lynch when nobody wants to boo Becky Lynch. How many fucking times do I have to tell you, follow the pulse of the audience? They are guiding you every step of the way. It's like Link in a fucking dungeon in The Legend of Zelda. You got the fucking lamp. He can't see a goddamn fucking thing. Meanwhile, he's trying to find the hook shot or the boomerang, and he can't fucking see. WWE has the lamp as the audience. They are Link walking through a dark fucking dungeon in Hyrule. Please be Link and let the fans be the fucking lamp. Please, for the love of God, stop ignoring the cries of your audience. We want a certain something, then give us what we want. This is not what we want. Becky's narrative is one that we want to cheer. Having Becky walk away from a handshake was fucking lame, and it was pathetic. That should have never fucking happened. Becky should have walked away because she knew she was going to win, and that was it. If Charlotte was supposed to be booked in any manner, Charlotte should have been the one to fucking sneak attack Becky Lynch while she was holding the title up, turning Charlotte heel and keeping Becky babyface. But we won't turn our queen heel because that's not what we want. Because she's a Flair. She's Miss Reigns. Fuck you. Apparently WWE wanted us to see a screwjob finish, and it was supposed to be interpreted as a huge babyface win that all fans were extremely happy about. It's ironic considering how usually WWE is trying to get the fans to cheer for a champion that people aren't too hot on, but apparently it's the other way around for Becky Lynch. And it even continues past that, folks. It even continues past that. There were people in attendance. There were people in attendance that had signs. Signs in the crowd, confiscated because they were anti-Charlotte Flair. And you mean to tell me WWE listens to the fucking audience? You got Dustin Rhodes shitting on the fans. You got WWE, which I'm sure is a WWE fucking pushed initiative. This came from WWE. This wasn't people at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. This wasn't security in the AT&T Center taking these fans away. Because what the fuck do they know? WWE is pinpointing and spotting anti-Charlotte signs in the crowd, and they were having them taken away. There were two individuals that had their signs confiscated at Hell in a Cell. One sign, it's ridiculous that anybody's freedom of speech is just, suppressed. But this guy was asking for it with this one. I mean, this is prototypical WWE. One sign read, "I'm only here because All In was sold out." Guy couldn't get to All In, so he had to resort to buying Hell in a Cell tickets. Now, the Charlotte Flair sign, the anti-Charlotte Flair sign, all it simply said was, "Boo the Woo." And WWE ordered security in the AT&T Center to take away the sign that said "Boo the Woo." Because it was on television, I guess. So that's WWE listening to the fans. That's WWE listening to the pulse of the fans and the heartbeat of the fans, right? That's WWE pushing Becky as a babyface? God forbid people. Yeah, but Road Dogg goes on social media and says, "Oh, we don't care. Cheer for Charlotte. If you want Charlotte, cheer for Charlotte. If you want Becky, cheer for Becky. That's what we want. Choose a side. That's all we ask," he says. Clearly this person chose a side and you have their opinions fucking fucked with. So next time WWE says they want to listen to the fucking audience, or they listen to the audience, I want you to reference this fucking incident and the ending of this women's championship match at Hell in a Cell. WWE says one thing and does another. This company doesn't give a fuck what you have to say. It's fucking pathetic. Jesus Christ, man. I've never seen a company act in such a way like WWE. We have no right whatsoever when it comes to WWE. They are right, we are wrong 100% of the time. Yet WWE listens to the audience. If WWE listened to the audience, then Becky Lynch would be babyface 100%, which she is right now. Because anybody that says she's a fucking heel is a fucking idiot. If WWE listened to the audience, Roman Reigns wouldn't be the Universal Champion. If WWE listened to the audience, okay, Braun Strowman, who had one of the most organic runs as a babyface in recent memory, turned heel because they want to push a certain initiative. And I'm sure there's many more instances in WWE. Simple as that. This is ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say about that, man. That's all I have. Post Hell in a Cell 2018 news and rumors. I'm going to save whatever news I had for Friday on Off the Script. If you guys want a glimpse at what we got coming up on Friday for episode 240 of Off the Script. WWE has big plans moving forward for the Mixed Match Challenge. Kota Ibushi reportedly open to working with WWE. Major match being planned for Shawn Michaels at the Survivor Series. Rey Mysterio and a possible date for his return to the WWE. And WWE fast-tracking two particular NXT superstars to the main roster. Who are they and what the fuck does WWE got planned? Also, WWE considering a major change to the Survivor Series for 2018. So I'll see you guys on Friday for episode 240 of Off the Script. If you guys want to check out my Hell in a Cell review and results video, podcast is on the channel right now. Go and check that out. And I will see you guys tonight for Monday Night Raw. We got the aftermath of Hell in a Cell. Is Lesnar going to be there? Undertaker's going to be there. What does he got to say in retaliation to Triple H? What is Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns going to have to say about their no contest inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship? We got a lot going on Monday Night Raw. I doubt it's going to be a good show, but at least it will be a newsworthy one coming out of Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys so much. Remember to leave a thumbs up on the way out. Leave a comment down below. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter. And please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. We are dangerously close to 98,000 subscribers, man. Thank you guys so much. And tonight, I'll see you for Monday Night Raw.